Hello there, this is me, Darkcast93, and this is going to be a Pretty Rhythm Rainbow Live episode 26 review. Now, I've been thinking about it, for a while. No, not really a while, but for the past, couple hours that I feel like the review section or the review sometimes can be too long. Sometimes, 10 minutes, 11 minutes, 14. One time I had to cut one in half, but now I've sort of decided on a cut, I suppose, for it. So I'm going to split it into three parts. I'm going to go in sort of pseudo-chronological order, but I'm also just going to cut it in three parts, with one part being the most important that I felt, one part just being the core of the episode, and one part just my favorite portion. So let's get on with it. Now, first off would be the favorite portion, and the favorite portion for me was Belle. Just Belle and Belle's Rose, and just that. So mainly the beginning of the episode and sort of the middle of the episode, not really the end, but episode starts off with Belle performing the Prism Live. Now, of course, she does her first three jumps, the normal 3-jump chain that we saw before. But she then comes out with a fourth jump, saying that she's able, now she's reborn, able to love again, and says that her jump, and the jump is called Dream Prism Phoenix. Now, I want to go a little bit into that. The little inside of Prism Phoenix was the little photo or such that we saw, or the little snippet of Belle in the different uniforms, or the Belle in the different outfits from Pretty Rhythm. There was P&P's outfit. There was the Pure Premium Wedding that Ira wore. There was the yukata, the yukata type of thing that Ira wore, and the Mia with hers in the beginning of Dear My Future. And what am I trying to think else? But I feel there were two more besides that, but just that in general, just all with Belle, sort of leans me to a sort of theory that one Prism star who can perform Prism Live can actually change various Prism worlds just by doing Prism jumps. So that might be a theory that could be developed later in the series. But besides that, after that, it's more of Belle just saying, "Oh, hey, I'm so happy and I love you all, and since Seshi, I like you," and she helps out Naru later in the episode. But now let's get on to the second portion. The second portion is the Ito X Koji / Happy Rain section. So mainly this is the core of the episode. Ito and Koji talk, and Koji sort of trying to convince Ito that changing the song, the song was still good, but changing the song, it wasn't bad. He just changed it because he thought it was missing something. But Ito isn't accepting it, and she's like, "Get out," to Koji. So what happens is then he is thrown, not thrown away, but he walks away. Now, on the other side, Naru's they're contemplating about, oh yeah, is Ito alright, and such. And then Belle sees Naru and the rest of them, and it's like, oh yeah. I'm like, yeah, how you doing, Ayase-san? And walking is like, what's wrong? What happened? Then basically they go in the room. Belle listens to the song that Prism Stone team is going to perform, and she's like, oh, I see now. Basically, this is a love song. It's a sign of love. And they're all and Naru and Kazuki alright. And even Kazuki jokes and says, oh yeah, Koji did good for himself. But most of the rest of us is what do you guys mean? What do you mean by that? And Otoha then explains that it is that basically it's a love letter from Koji to Ito. Now, what happens is then later on we see Ito in the room with Naru and basically Ito's saying that she's not going to perform in the Prism show. She's not going to. But Naru's like, Naru's like, why? And Ito's like, because he's what is it? He's using as sort of a pity. He's pushing pity at me, and what is it? An and Kazuki try to clear it up, but Naru's like, no, that's not true. That Koji-kun actually loves you. Of course, Ito's shocked by this, which she was shocked a lot in this episode for some reason. I don't know why. She sort of broke her shell, but Naru's like, you like him too, don't you? Like, then go after him. Like, what are you sitting here for? Just go after him and show him your true feelings. And then Ito runs out of the room and runs after Koji. Now, Ito finds Koji. Ito's trying to explain herself, but Koji goes up to Ito and says, I love you, and, well, they kiss. Yeah, they kiss. I mean, before, I know I'm going back to a previous series, but 47 of, I believe it was Dear My Future, they didn't show the Ira and Sho kiss, but they showed the Koji and Ito kiss full. Like, they showed it for like 4 seconds after it was done. So it's like, you know, they really wanted it done. And sort of disappointed a lot of people. But for me, I was sort of on board with it. I mean, not because Ito's my favorite character, but I mean, it would be different to sort of have that. And now it's sort of a growing set. It's like a growing piece for Ito, for Naru now, because she's going to find a lover. Naru X hero anyone? So that's sort of a thing. But then the Happy Rain comes up. They try to decide a name, and Ito says Rain because the Mars scenario again, where they just use the first letters of their first names. But An says that's sort of too bland, not bland, but sort of too sad. And Naru's like, oh yeah, let's use Happy Rain. So they go out, dance to Doshi Appear Happy, and they perform a trio Prism live, and they perform a jump called Happy Rain. And they win the tri-grouping session with 16,200 carats. And in second place was Belle Rose, which was just behind by only 300 carats at 15,900. So, sort of, I thought that Belle should have won, that Belle's Rose should have won, but again, it was a trio tournament, and Naru's group did it well, so you know what? That's fine with me. But the third portion I'm going to talk about is the really good, is not the best portion of the episode, but sort of one of the most important ones. It wasn't the most important, but there was sort of a third section that I have to sort of clarify, that I have to sort of talk about. So, after all the results are done, Hiro's standing outside, and he's saying that, oh yeah, Belle, you found friends, and that I have to become the flower that stands at the top of the mountain. So he's going on his own, and for June's just standing, looking out into the sky. She turns around, sees Rine, and she's like, "Who are you?" And Rine says, "Star." So, and that's where the episode ends. So, I'm really, really, really interested to see what happens with that. June and Rine meeting, sort of the two mysterious characters of the series, finally going to get some sort of screen time. And for Hiro, I don't know what's going to go on with him. I honestly don't know. But again, what are your thoughts on this episode? Was Ito X Koji for you? Was it not? Do you think it should have been Naru X Koji? Or what about Belle's Rose? What did you think of Prism Phoenix? I thought it was the most amazing jump. I'm not even kidding. It was better than Aurora Dream. If you want to discount me on that, go ahead and you can say in the comments below, and tell me your reason why Aurora Dream was better than Prism Phoenix. But for me, Prism Phoenix was it. I mean, the reasoning behind that for me is sort of it's not sort of making everyone's dreams come to reality or such, but Prism Phoenix, it was there, and it sort of sets the tone for the next half of the series. So again, I thought I was going to make it shorter, but I ended up rambling on, and it's a bit over 10 minutes. So, again, this has been a Pretty Rhythm episode review. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys later.